Challenge Roth have a new run course. Smiling could make you run faster. Nike are designing shoes with algorithms and so much more. This is the GTN Show.
Yes, and as you can see, we are back in the comfort of the studio. We've left windy Lanzarote, although I am missing the sunshine already.
Well, to help us out, Heather, we have a Jordanian triathlete and Olympic Games competitor, Lawrence Vanous. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Hello, Mark. Hello,
Welcome,
Heather. Thanks for having me.
Well, Lawrence is going to be joining us over the next week for a few videos, and personally, you're going to be helping me a little bit with my training. Talking of which, Heather, we have an event coming up.
Yeah, I think we both need a little bit of help because we have entered Bath Half Marathon, which is now less than 5 weeks away.
Well, how's the training going?
Yeah, so I think normally at this time of year, I sort of snigger at an influx of runners on the streets of Bath, and I was thinking over the weekend, I am that person panic training for the half marathon.
Don't worry, I'll help you through this few days.
Thanks, mate. How about you, Heather?
Well, I mean, you even said to me, was it like a bit of panic training? I did yesterday. I ran for the time that I hoped to be able to, longer than the time I hoped my half marathon would take me, but I was 3 miles short.
Are we allowed to know what that is?
I guess. Yesterday I was running for an hour and 42 and I managed 10.5 miles.
Nice.
That's not really all right.
That's all right.
Have you done a half marathon before?
Actually, I have, but only in triathlons. Only in
possibly harder.
Marathons. Yeah, it gets harder, but it's very different. It's more like a strength event, and not that half marathon isn't strength, but yeah, it's quite different.
But I think Mark and I both thought we haven't got time to train for triathlon at the moment, so we'll focus on running and see if we can do it better than we could at the end of a half Ironman. But I'm at the moment, I think my half Ironman half marathon time will have been quicker last year than what my half marathon time is going to be.
I think if you asked me back in September, I was like, I am going for a PB, no problem. Ask me now, I'll be happy if I equal my PB.
Yeah, well, my PB is in a triathlon, so.
Well,
see if you can beat it.
Fingers crossed to us. Well, Heather, something we should maybe adopt for the Bath Half Marathon is smiling.
Oh, I'm up for that.
Well, apparently intentionally smiling during physical activity can help to reduce our perceived effort of exertion. Yeah,
and up to now, they haven't actually done any hard studies on this and whether it actually has any effect, but there has been a study just recently done on 24 club level runners who were basically split into groups, and each group had to do a certain style of running. So the first one did smiling while running, the second one did frowning, the third one was just running normally, and the fourth one was running with a relaxed upper body deliberately, to see what the different effects were.
Yeah, well, interestingly, they did find a difference. It's 2.8%. Runners became 2.8% more efficient when they were smiling compared to when they were frowning. Yeah. Now, I don't know about you guys. Do you smile when you run?
Not intentionally. Maybe my gurning and my pain face looks like I'm smiling. But there's something behind that as well. There's kind of like the poker face whilst you're racing, because I definitely do. I've probably done this to Lawrence as well in training. So when you're during a training session and maybe on the bike and I know we're pushing it and I'm possibly hurting, but I'll smile, I'll chat to Lawrence, and hopefully it's just breaking him down mentally.
Yeah, I think he's not working hard, but then at the same time I'm also pretending that I'm working hard, so I don't have to come through.
Okay.
So,
God, the games are these two. I'm glad I don't train with these two. I mean, I was just saying that my long run yesterday, just passing general people out walking and they say hello and they smile at you. That gives me energy as well. If other people smile at me, and then it makes me smile, which then makes me forget that I'm running for a few minutes.
There's something I do in training as well. I often do it whilst I'm running. Is I do tense up a little bit over time, so I do often drop my arms down and I relax and I just really consciously think about everything relaxing. So I can kind of understand the whole idea of when you start feeling the pain, you frown, you tense up, so actually maybe smiling you sort of relax.
No, I definitely think there's something to be said for just thinking more positively when you're running and when you're exercising, because it does just relax your whole body, and if you feel better, you're gonna run better.
Well, let's get ready for some nice photos of us smiling our way around Bath Half.
No gurning.
Now moving on, a little bit of an update on the Henry Schoeman Tiwi case. Now last week, as we put out the show, Henry Schoeman actually released a statement on the whole incident.
Yes, and I've got a bit of that statement here. So what he said was, there's never been a positive result, an adverse analytical finding, or a necessity for a TUE. I've never failed a drug test in my sporting career, nor have I ever had to apply for a TUE. I work extremely hard at what I do. It's not always easy, but triathlon is my passion and I enjoy it.
Yeah, and the ITU have actually thanked Henry themselves, saying, he was really cooperative and he gave them all the information they needed, and that the case is now officially closed. So I guess it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Now for some technological advances, and this one comes from Nike with their computational design. Now Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price wore a pair of spikes in the 100 metres at the Rio Olympic Games, where the spikes were moulded into one plate using these very fancy Nike algorithms. The same algorithms that are now going into some everyday running shoes, the Epic React Flyknits.
That sounds interesting, and I mean, I'm surprised that the spike thing hasn't happened before, because how often do you change your spikes? Like, I can't get mine out, they're rusted in anyway. So why, that's a great way to move it forwards. Exactly, yeah, I'm ahead of the times, I think, with that.
Now, let's talk about Challenge Roth. It's regarded as possibly the fastest iron distance course out there. And this year, they have a new run course.
Yeah, well, I mean, the fact they advertise it as the fastest course, or one of the fastest courses, it gets loads of people entering, and I think entries sell out like within a couple of minutes for age groupers. So it caused a little bit of controversy last year because that course suddenly made it a bit slower.
So yeah, last year they changed it just due to safety and whatnot, but it took in sort of an elevation of 330 metres, which hardly sounds like much.
Over 1,000 feet, yeah.
Well, I don't know, but over a marathon, it's not that much. It's a long way, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. But the thing is, people are entering this event because they want to go fast.
They want a fast race.
They don't want to even gain a metre.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, Roth have listened, so they have changed the course, not back to the original course. I think there were some problems with safety, but they have made it flatter due to complaints.
Just 160 metres now.
Yeah, so, which is actually like really flat. It must be really flat now.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing that, and they are celebrating their 35th year in Roth. Okay, so we've spoken a lot about Tim Don on the channel and his tragic incident ahead of the Ironman World Champs. Now, Tim was absolutely flying going into Kona. He was the Ironman world record holder of 7 hours and 40 minutes. And unfortunately, just a few days before the race, he was knocked off his bike by a truck.
Yeah, pretty horrific, and he broke the couple of bones in his neck and was left with some, well, obviously, devastating. His season was over, but he was looking at the bigger picture quite quickly when they realised there were 3 options, and he went for the harder option of how to treat his neck, which basically would enable him to still have movement. So fusing would have been the most straightforward, but it would have meant that he probably wouldn't get his aero position again. So he opted for this halo. And I don't know if you've seen it online, but basically, a piece of metal around his head with screws in his skull. I can't imagine anything like that. But I mean, hats off to him that he's already thinking when he's found out he's broken his neck that I want to race again.
Yeah, and you got to say, like, his demeanour through the whole thing has been amazing. He's been so happy and so positive. And I think that's probably testament to him.
And all of this obviously has incurred quite a few medical costs, which he's having to stump up himself.
He is, but there was a GoFundMe page. Someone tried to start a GoFundMe page, and Tim and Kelly, his wife, basically said, no, we don't feel comfortable with that. So his sponsors have stepped in, haven't they?
Yeah, so actually a long-standing sponsor, Endura, who do all his sort of cycling, his triathlon gear, they've actually stepped in and designed custom kit. It's the Tim Don kit, and it is really cool, actually. And all the proceeds go to Tim.
Yeah, and if you maybe don't want to support financially, there's another way you can support. Tonight, Tim is actually going to be online on Zwift doing a group session. So if you've got your turbo set out and you're doing a bit of winter training and you maybe want a chance to keep up with Tim, it might be the only time you get to do it.
It's a bit harsh, but it's all good.
You two have got your turbos ready. Come on.
It's going to be great, and Tim is a great sport, so I'm sure he'll be giving everyone words of encouragement, and it'll be great fun.
And it's time for the GTN Tribe, when we plot your club on our world map, and it's growing. This week we are heading to North America, to Canada, and it is Team Powell in Vancouver.
Yeah, and it's Vancouver's an amazing place to train. I've actually been there a few times, and they've got the sea, they've got the mountains, they've got the countryside. It's really awesome.
Yeah, and they've got a really good mix of athletes in the squad. They've got beginners all the way through to people competing at the World Champs. Now, it's run by a former professional athlete, so they're very well coached and mentored. And they actually run a couple of camps per year. So they've got one that takes place in Whistler.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
And then the other one, which is in Penticton.
Well, they must have had quite a fun summer last year with the World Champs being in Penticton. I wonder if any of them were racing. But even if not, to have that with your club to go and watch is pretty motivating.
Yeah, really cool. And let's take a look through some of these photos. So they look very active. Here they are heading out for a squad bike session in all their team kit.
Look at that beautiful blue sky and the sea behind them.
And at a race, this is an Ironman race, so they're all numbered up. Very cool.
Shot of the guns, like it.
So yeah, really active club, and joining up for a winter turbo session.
Well, those sunny pictures have definitely made me jealous. Anyway, I'm like, Vancouver is on my bucket list, so it is even more so now.
Yeah, well, please do keep sending in your photos and information about your clubs, because we love reading about them, finding out about all these different clubs over the world. So you can send that in over Facebook or Twitter using the hashtag GTN Tribe. Now for the race news, and we actually have some race news this week. It was the Ironman 70.3 South Africa. That was missing some big names, actually.
You're talking about yourself again? I know you raced it last year, Mark.
Other than me, a few other big names. Jody Cunningham, James Cunningham, and Kyle Buckingham. And then even 2017 champion, who was actually down on the start list, had to withdraw just a couple of days or a week before the race, and that's Roman Guillaume. But anyway, it was still a very, very exciting race. It was led out by Johan Ackerman, and he actually led the race for most of the bike as well, until he got a puncture. I saw a really sort of sorry picture over the weekend of him stood on the side of the road with his wheel just
gotta hurt,
looking up and down. But yeah, it was quite an exciting story, really. Matt Troutman, I remember actually going into the race last year because I was racing. He was the big favourite, and he was knocked off his bike by a car just like a week before the race. Broke his spine.
Wow.
Really bad. I mean, most people were worried he would never make it back. Well, he won.
Wow.
And isn't that his third or fourth time winning it in like 4 years or something?
I think so, yeah. He has won it before.
That is a comeback and a half, isn't it?
That is very impressive.
Off a broken back, it's really, really amazing.
Yeah. And I think he's even got a few of his vertebrae fused. So imagine, trying to get into an aero position, trying to run. So hats off to you, Matt. That's really impressive. In second place, it was Kenneth van der Rijske that we did speak about recently in the Lanzarote International Duathlon. So he is traditionally a duathlete, stepping into triathlon and long distance triathlon. So that's really exciting. And in third, it was Eva Schiltinger.
Well, over on the women's side, it was another win for the home country for South Africa. So Jenny Seymour, she dominated the race really from start through to finish, and it was more the competition was happening further back in the race. And the strong runner that is Emma Pallant, we saw her come to fruition and move up quite a few places in the
That's really exciting. Yeah, I mean, she's an ex-international runner. She came into triathlon and she sort of proved her force over duathlon.
Well, it's another second for another duathlete. There's a bit of a theme going on here.
Theme there.
Yeah, well, in third place, it was Judith Vaquera.
So now for the weekly poll. So last week we asked you, if you had the choice, would you swim in either pool or open water? And the results are in, and at the bottom with 14% was the indoor pool, which is interesting because I thought that'd be a bit easier. Next is at 30% was the outdoor pool, and most popular was open water at 54%.
I think Mark sold that. I think he won people over with romantic ideas of swimming in like beautiful turquoise oceans.
Viewer's choice. I've just got a lot of friends who are logging in.
Or 54% of people live in lovely places with nice warm open water.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Quarry down the road's lovely. Well, earlier on in the show, we were talking about how smiling enhances our running performance, or so they say. But what facial expression do you make when you race? Do you smile? Do you frown? Are you running naturally? Are you consciously relaxed? Or are you doing something completely different?
Yeah, let us know if it is something completely different. And we want to see photographic evidence of your race face, just so we can laugh. It makes us feel a little bit better, because I know
mine are great.
Apparently
we were looking earlier and we were trying to stitch Heather up, so I'm just getting
I'm
ones
normally
of us smiling all the time.
Definitely longer distance races, so like Ironman. I see a photographer up ahead and I'm like, I should look like I'm working, but I also want to smile because it's a camera, so I smile.
Always make it look good.
Not sure what you're supposed to do.
We would love to see your race photos. Please send over some funny ones. And you can do that over Facebook and Twitter.
And don't forget, hit the link above my head to vote in the poll.
Now it's time for the Caption competition.
Yeah, last week we had this photo of a competitor diving in or doing a swan dive at an ITU race, and we had plenty of caption suggestions, which we've trawled through and had a look at, and we've chosen our favourites. So go on, Mark.
So from Alvaro Gonzalez, he said, the more you spend in the air, the less you have to swim. Very
Bad.
good.
And we got also one from Sam Kett saying, do you come from a swimming background? Nah, ski jumping.
But our favourite is this one from Lucas, and Lucas says, well, actually, you've got to do it. You've got a better accent than me, Mark. Go on.
I need to go. My planet needs me.
That's very good, actually.
Thanks very much. Cheers. I'm in the wrong job. Yeah, we love that one. So, Lucas, you win the GTN cap. Get in touch to claim
Well
it.
done, Lucas.
But this week, well, we've got a good one. This is from the ITU Winter Triathlon World Championships, and well, who knows what's going on here? I mean, what is she doing?
Cross country skiing, maybe?
That's all we could come up with, isn't it?
Well, we'd like to
I
hear.
think you can do better.
Yeah, we'd like to hear your caption competition suggestions, and you can leave them in the comment section below.
Well, now it's time for the GTN Pain Cave, and we've picked out 3 of our favourite pain caves to share with you this week. And our first one is from Roddy Medina. And, wow, there's a lot of bikes going on.
This is a busy one, isn't it?
It is.
And if you look closely, we can spot you,
I
Ronnie.
can see you. I can see in the mirror.
Yes. So yeah, you've got your TT bike set up on your turbo. Trying to pick out what TT bike that is, and I have no idea.
Let us know.
I
Yeah.
reckon I'm going to go Trek.
Yeah, it has got that like back
The
box.
box and
Yeah, and you've got 3 bikes
And
on
I'm
the
a
wall.
big fan of having a fan in front of you as well. So
Yeah, a little bit
that's pretty
disappointed.
Fanous is the fan of a fan.
good. Exactly, yeah.
Nice.
Good one.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed GTN's not on the TV, mind, but
A nice balance Swiss ball, half Swiss ball for some core
Yes,
workout.
good.
Covering
Yeah.
everything. All
Awesome.
bases.
brilliant. Moving on, we have one here from Jordan McLean, and kind of looks like you're in a shed here, Jordan.
It's like the garden shed.
You've got your plant pots. You've
Pretty
got
much
your
the
lawnmower.
same as mine, to be honest. I've got my lawnmower and my weights there as well. So
But yeah, really cool. You've got your bike propped up on some books, which is also
Very
my
proud.
method as well.
you too.
Improvise.
And actually, if we zoom in, it is a cookery book.
Wow, student one.
A student one, yeah.
Nice.
So
How much we can find out about you from these photos.
Yes.
Be
Be
warned.
careful.
And we know you like GTN, obviously.
yeah, you've got
Yeah.
my little interval session on the screen from Kona, and a nice little retro Ray Inkley bike there in the background. So very cool. And lastly, from Matt Gulob from New Jersey. This is pretty clean, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean,
I like
look
this
at
one.
this. It's just
This is
clean
your
is
sort
a
of
good
room,
way
Mark.
to describe
Which one
it.
is it?
Clean and tidy. Tidy man.
I do like look at the towels, got them all ready. It's so organised.
And a fan of, well, it looks like you play a bit of tennis and,
Yeah,
golf,
and golf.
and obviously cycling. I mean,
Multi-sport.
that is multi-sport
Yeah.
to the next level.
And you've got another GTN interval session on the TV.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, please keep sending in your pain caves using the hashtag GTN Pain Cave over Facebook and Twitter. So that's it for the GTN show.
Yeah, and if you enjoy our videos, then make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking on the globe and give us a thumbs up like if you enjoyed this video.
Yeah, and if you are sort of feeling New Year motivated and you've entered your first triathlon, but you need a little help on how to train for it, we've got a series on how to train for your first triathlon right here.
And if you'd like to improve your swimming, you'd like to swim faster, well, you can get tips from one of the best swimmers in the sport, Lucy Charles. We filmed a video recently with her out in Lanzarote, and you can see that by clicking here.